Gonna build a mountain from a little hill.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Best in Slot with some quick and dirty Planet Zoo news. I don't know what makes it dirty. Let's just roll with this. We're going to base this news, the first part, on this brand new screenshot we got earlier today. But there are two other things I would like to cover later on into the video. But it should still be nice and short. There isn't too much to take from this screenshot, but it's a really, really nice screenshot. So I do want to talk about it briefly. And we're at that stage still in the game development where every new screenshot is really exciting stuff. So this was posted on the Planet Zoo Twitter earlier on today, and it's part of a competition. The idea is find all the plains zebras, or zebras if you're that way inclined, all the plains zebras on the image, and if you do and you're the one chosen, you could get like a copy of Planet Zoo or something like that. I can't quite remember what the prize was. I think there's 8. Okay, so I'm going to quickly label them. We've got one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, I'm missing one. I definitely saw 8 last time. Now I'm down to 7. Where's the other one gone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Have I gone crazy? I did this video about 5 minutes ago. I decided to oh no, there's one there, there's one there. There's a cheeky one. Right, that's the problem. Right, you can see there's actually one there. It's quite hard to spot. Now there could be 1 or 2 more hiding around. There might be one around here somewhere, there might be one around there somewhere, but I'd say those are the 8 that are clear and obvious. So that would be my personal guess, but we'll have to wait and see. One of them I want to point out is adorable. One of them is a baby zebra over here on the right hand side. Absolutely adorable. Got those really long, spindly legs that you tend to see on, you know, newborn foals of horses, zebras, antelopes, any sort of ungulate like that. Tends to, please tell me I'm using ungulate correctly there. They tend to have really long, spindly legs in comparison to their body. It's really cute, and it's nice to see that sort of difference between the adults and the babies is there. They're not just shrunken down versions of the adult animals. They've been remade. Their morphology, their basal morphology is different, not just their size, which is really cool. There's maybe 1 or 2 other things we can talk about with this screenshot. First things first, it is beautiful. This is our best look at animals in a big, wide, foliage-filled exhibit, very much like what you'd expect to see in-game. It looks like it's slightly less of a bullshot compared to some of the ones we've seen before. Bullshot, for those who are unaware, is a term for screenshots released by game developers and stuff like that, that kind of, it's a shot in-game, but then it's post-processed heavily to ramp up how good the game looks. This one doesn't seem to have that done, in my opinion. Anyways, it looks great. There's some really nice little features here that I want to point out. The first of all, the main one is really the difference in vegetation. We've got different heights on the grass. You know, we've got this big bit here, big bit here, big bit here, and then it goes smaller again. There's a lot of variation in there. Same with the ferns, but especially when you look at the trees, it really points out how different they're all going to look. So first of all, we've got this set over here on the left, and we've got 3 different types of tree here, and they all look distinctively different. They go together really nicely, but they are different types of tree. That's 3 types of tree confirmed, at least. But what I really want to point out is the dimorphism between the trees themselves, and there's 2 good examples here. First of all, over here, if you look at this tree and this tree and this tree and this tree, you can see the shapes differ. These are the same species and they're all about the same size, but this one points that way, this one points that way, those 2 point that way. This one in the distance is the same, it goes like that. This one, they're the same as this one over here. This one's taller and it branches off like that, whereas these ones don't. There's a lot of dimorphism even between the same species of tree, and you see it here at the front as well. We've got these 2 trees here, one here, and these are beautiful trees with this sort of twisty bark, and they kind of go up into these tentacles at the top, right? And they both do that. They're both very similar in that way. But the top of this tree is about there, like barely where the leaves start on this one. It's much smaller than the one in the middle. Now that doesn't sound like a big deal, but if we can control that, if we can control the size of our foliage, or even if it is completely randomized, it really goes a long way to taking, let's say, 10 to 15 types of tree, or whatever we're going to get, and making it feel like much more, because there's variation even between the individual species. It's not a big deal, and it's definitely something you should kind of expect in this day and age, but it looks great, and should lead to some really interesting exhibits. I don't really have much else to say on this screenshot. The screenshot itself doesn't contain much in the way of new information or anything. It just looks really, really nice. It's a huge exhibit. It's got, you know, different levels of elevation. We've got this lovely little pool over here, loads of different vegetation, loads of animals living there, but they look like they'd be happy. We have seen zebras already in a savanna type environment, so it looks like animals may be happy in multiple environments, not necessarily just one strict biome, basically. That would be really cool as well. There's also this odd building on the left. I'm not quite sure what this is meant to be. Maybe a viewing area. You can see what looks like maybe a banister sort of barrier kind of thing at the top for looking out over onto the zebra exhibit. Not really sure. We're going to move on anyway, so that's the first part of 3 bits of news. This is the second. We are also just as excited as you are, and cannot wait to show you even more of what the amazing Frontier team have been working on. That's why we'd like to invite you to join us for Planet Zoo's official gameplay reveal during the PC Gaming Show at E3 on Monday 10th of June at 5 PM UTC, which is 6 PM BST, as in 6 PM in Britain, 7 PM in Western Europe, and like 2 PM, stuff like that, depending on where you are in the Americas. And yeah, we're going to get our first proper gameplay reveal for Planet Zoo. We're going to see actual in-game gameplay for the very first time, which is really, really, really exciting. The final thing I want to cover before I let you all go home and do things is... it's been one of those days. The final thing I want to cover is something I mentioned in the last video, and that was a comment from a developer during the developer spotlight, and it seemed to suggest pretty blithely, to be honest, that we would be able to interact with our animals in some form. Now, it turns out that developer didn't quite mean that. You know, the German, English isn't their first language, and it didn't quite come across how they intended, which is absolutely fair enough. Those type of mistakes really do happen. So we had this little edit. It says, "We've edited the sentence now, apologies for any confusion. It was simply a comment about how alive the animals feel in-game, thanks to the amazing design, audio and coding work the team has done." So everything I said about the interaction stations, or maybe interacting with our animals from like a godlike position, is much more in doubt than it was in the last video. It already seemed like a slightly odd inclusion to me personally, but it was also quite an exciting one. I don't want people to get unduly hyped, and of course the Frontier developers don't want people to get excited about a feature that may not make it into the final game, and if I had to guess, probably won't. It doesn't seem to be the direction they're taking Planet Zoo in general. It is a shame. It's always a shame when we lose a feature, but I don't think it's that big a deal, and at least it's been clarified. The important thing is people don't go in expecting something that was never really meant to have been said in the first place, kind of thing. So just wanted to clarify that on my end as well. Interaction could be a thing, but at the moment we have no evidence to suggest it's going to be, so I wouldn't get your hopes up regarding that. Get your hopes up regarding pretty foliage and stuff instead. That sounds like a much better idea. Right, anyways, we are done. Told you I'd be fast. I'm like a YouTube mongoose. Are mongoose fast? Mongooses are pretty fast, right? They're like, meow, mongoose? Mongoose? I don't know. Mongoose are pretty fast. Let's say that. And yeah, we're going to end it there. So thank you for joining me. Hit the like button if you found this informative, or I managed to kill 7 minutes off your day. And I will see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, myself as always. Bye-bye. Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to help support me a little bit more, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. There's a link in the description down below. Every little really does help in times like these, but it's not at all expected, and by just watching the video you've already helped me out massively, and it makes you a pretty cool person, so well done you. Thanks for joining me either way, I'll see you next time.